How's it going, everybody? I'm that fishing noob, and I'm here to bring you a couple quick kayak fishing tips. 3, matter of fact. First tip that I have for you is know your limits. So depending on what kind of kayak you have, whether it's just a paddle kayak, whether it's something like this, an Old Town Sportsman PDL 106, Native Titan, whatever it is, know your limits. Know your limits, know your kayak's limits. The best way, the easiest way to figure that out is during a nice warm summer day, go through, throw on your PFD, go somewhere in a controlled environment, somewhere shallow, and just mess around. Go all over your kayak. Go ahead and lean one way, lean the other way, just test the limits of the kayak. And then if you can get it to flip, I mean, hey, you're in shallow water, all the better. And then also you can practice your re-entry. I have flipped my kayak once before, not this one. I still do, a Lifetime Teton or Teton angler. And I flipped that one pretty close to launch one day. I had 2 rods with me, my milk crate, and some other light stuff. And I leaned over a little bit too far, and then I went past that tipping point, and over I went. I didn't lose anything, thankfully, but that was the only time that I have flipped a kayak. Now, like I mentioned, I'm currently in an Old Town Sportsman PDL 106, and the stability on this is crazy. But even something like this has limits. So my tip to you would be test the limits of your kayak and know your own limits. Know what you can handle, know what kind of weather conditions that you can handle. For example, I know that about 25 to 30 mile per hour gusts on this would be my, I probably need to get back to shore. But fishing 10, 15 sustained in this has been all right. So get out, know your limits. Test your limits in a controlled environment, so that way you can know, all right, this is how much I can handle. It's better to know that beforehand rather than in the moment of like, oh crap, this is too much for me to handle. Now it's too late, and now you're, in the hole, $200, $300, $1,000 worth of fishing equipment resting at the bottom of a lake somewhere. Second tip is going to be tether your valuables. So if you're a new kayak angler, you are probably going to lose some stuff. So tether your valuables. If you have a fishing crate, kind of like this, I still run these little tether cords. And if I'm fishing kind of choppy situations or kind of just sketchy waters, I will tether my valuables. Typically, if I have a scale, I have that tethered. I have a catch board down here, have that tethered. I've got, like I mentioned, tethers on each one of these rod holders back here. I tether my cart. I tether my phone. Your valuables, tether your valuables. That way you don't lose them. I mean, even something like pliers. I've gone through and lost pliers before. All the things that you don't want to lose until you're super, super comfortable, tether your valuables. And even if you're comfortable, you can still have an accident or two. So I'd rather not lose money to the bottom of a lake or bottom of a creek or a pond or whatever. So accidents do happen, especially when your hands are wet. Maybe if it's cold out and your hands are a little numb, accidents could happen. You could accidentally go through and drop a rod or drop some pliers or drop a scale. So I've almost lost my catch board a couple times. So I mean, having it tethered is fantastic because I can just go through, scoop it up, bring it back up, good to go. And the last tip I have for you, kind of a tip, is get out on the water as much as possible. As much as possible, because there's nothing that'll beat the knowledge of experiencing the water firsthand. You can go through and watch a bunch of videos on how to fish from a kayak and how to maintain balance on a kayak, but nothing will beat getting out there on the water, sitting down on a kayak and fishing. So as often as you are able to, get out, get some seat time out on the water, out on a kayak. Well, that'll be it for this one. Quick tips out here with me, that fishing noob. Get out there, tight lines. God bless.